Welcome to the MSP Corner podcast. Before we kick off our show, we would like to share what our main objective is at the MSP Corner. Our main goal is to help CEOs build profitable and self-sustainable IT service firms. We are not just providing tools for IT firms, we will be sitting in meetings with you to ensure your IT firm stays on track. The first area we are focused on, strategic sales. IT firms are stuck selling technology or IT support. We will provide you with the blueprint so you position your firm as an added value to your prospects. We will have framework on how to sell value so you influence the prospect into selecting your firm. The second area we see many IT firms struggle in is marketing. 90+% of businesses rely on antiquated marketing methods. The most popular choice, word of mouth. We have proven methods on how to attract the ideal prospect. Our framework will include how to become the online authority and be the business influencer for an industry. The third component to our package, scaling. IT firms walk away from opportunities because they lack the bandwidth or skill set to scale. We have lined up reputable businesses so our members can hire on-demand resources that will allow them to scale their business. The fourth area we will offer help in, selecting the right tools. In order to deliver value, you need the right tech stack. Our platform will offer information on products that are the ideal choice for MSPs. The fifth area we will offer help in is with documentation. Templates are a critical component when building an MSP. We will have contracts, proposals, SOWs, collateral, and much more in the template section. You will have every document you need to start up your managed IT service business. Thank you for tuning in. Let's go to our next podcast. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our podcast. I am your host, Fernando Leon, and I am joined by my co-host, Gregory Moravietz. And today we are going to change it up a little. I know we've been talking to some technology, tech stack, and other service type of firms. So we're going to go back to why we built the MSP Corner, and we're going to focus on lead generation today. So let's kick this show off. So Greg, let me start off with the table of contents real quick. We have a few topics to go over here. So first we're going to tackle is marketing critical to an organization, right? Should you learn to market or sell first? That's a topic that comes up on a lot of these coaches, these gurus who want to teach you how to sell. They obviously have they have a specific agenda, and they all want you to learn how to sell first. But I'm like, my mindset is, well, if no one's coming through the door, who are you going to sell to? So we'll tackle that. We'll talk about what our managed security service provider leverages to generate leads, right? We can only talk about what we do, our experience, your marketing options, funnels. What funnels are you going to set up? Engagements, right? So what is an engagement? Well, it's a number of things that could generate leads for you. So let's kick this show off and let's start off with the first topic here. And what is marketing critical to your business? And that's a resounding yes, because imagine having a store at a mall and having a brick wall at your front door. It's like nobody knows you exist. You're in obscurity because no one knows you're open for business. And that is the only way you're going to attract clients, is by marketing. It's not by referrals. It's not by word of mouth. It's not by these antiquated methods that many people lean on. But marketing is going to be so critical to your growth because you want a stream of leads coming in. So, I mean, this is a very short answer of why marketing is critical to an organization. You need constant growth, you need constant opportunities. And some of you might say, well, I don't know how to sell. Well, this is a good way to practice. Because if you are consistently generating leads, right, you're going to have enough practice to learn how to sell value. So marketing is should be your number one choice. And that's a great segue into the next question is what should I learn first, marketing or selling? Well, you're not going to learn how to market. Your business is to run a business, and your business is obviously the IT industry. You're IT, you're the leader of the organization. So you're either meeting with clients, managing your people, but marketing should be, well, let's have the question, marketing or selling. I have no skin in the game. We're not a marketing organization. We're not coaches that teach you how to sell, or we will have that component part of our platform, but marketing should be the number one thing. There's just no you can't make an argument for the other. You got to have opportunities coming to you daily. This isn't like even a question as to, well, what if we get a few leads every quarter? No, you need to implement solutions so you have constant opportunities knocking on your front door, right? Attracting, you got to learn, how am I going to attract a specific organization to find, how am I going to attract these type of organizations? So there's lots of components to consider when you're marketing, right? You got to think about your messaging on your website. You got to think about the messaging on your collateral. You got to think about the messaging in your email. There's just so much. Your messaging on your social media platforms. So there's a lot to consider. And that's when a great vendor or a great marketing partner comes in and helps you. But it does help to have a VP of marketing to keep your organization on track. They are the ones that are going to be working with your messaging and ensuring that your marketing is speaking to your audience. So should you learn to market or sell first? Marketing, with hands down, there's no argument. It's a definite must that you should learn as much as you can so no one takes advantage of you. So if you're talking to an SEO firm or somebody who's going to build a PPC campaign, you should at least know the ins and outs of search engine optimization, pay-per-click strategies, what is all involved, because if you don't educate yourself, others will take advantage of you. So you don't want that. So learn to market yourself. Read some books. There's a great book on Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson. And that's a great book to read because he talks about so many funnels out there and so many strategies. So I would definitely do as much reading as you can about marketing. So that leads me to the next topic of what does our or my MSSP leverage to generate leads? Well, we've always leveraged SEO and PPC. Online marketing is what took our organization to the next level. Because, well, before we even determined that SEO and PPC were a fit for us, because you don't want to just throw money at something and expect it to work. You have to determine, are there enough searches in my area to justify this type of campaign? What type of return on investment am I going to get if I invest this amount? So we determined that SEO and the PPC, pay-per-click strategies, were going to generate 20 to 40 meetings a month. And that's what we do. We do at least 20 meetings a month. Sometimes we even do up to 50 to 60. But we like to say we do an average of 20 to 40. It's been consistent. We're happy with that number, and it gives us a lot of what you would call swings at the ball, right? You're at a batter's cage, and you're going to get as many you want as many pitches as you can get to swing and hit a home run. So if but let's talk about your marketing options, because you're going to want to determine what is the best fit for your budget, what is the best fit for attracting your ideal client, what are your limitations, right? You might be limited on budget, so there's other options to marketing. So let's go down that list of, what funnels we've set up and what's affordable. What are these costs going to look like? But SEO is the least expensive. Well, for online marketing, SEO, there's a lot involved, and I'll go into another. I'll have a webinar on all the ins and outs for SEO, but SEO, becoming the online authority with Google, takes a lot of planning. It takes a specific formula, and it takes a execution, right? Because Google is going to determine if you're the authority based on content on your site. So remember, Google is like somebody that is sitting at a corner and they're giving directions. If they give directions to the wrong people, or if they give directions to the wrong destination, people are not going to be using Google. They'll start using other methods to get to their data. So SEO, their algorithm determines who that authority is, because again, like I mentioned, they're giving directions to somebody, and they want to send them to the correct destination. And their algorithm determines if your website is the authority, is that quality business that's going to provide that visitor or that prospect with the information they're looking for. Now, how can you become the authority online? Well, there's a number of ways that Google measures or determines that you are the authority. Content creation. And what is that? What does that really mean? Well, it comes in several forms. You can write blogs, you can write case studies, you can write white papers, you create webinars, you create podcasts. And what's even better are videos, short form videos of you talking about the problems you solve for a specific industry. You discussing in a 3 to 4 minute video of what the financial industry should do to protect their data. You got encryption, you got compliance, you have disaster recovery. I mean, the topics are endless for IT firms. And what you want to do is you want to create content that speaks to your audience. Now, the other form that we love to leverage are testimonials. Testimonials on video are ideal, but the only thing that I'm kind of against is I don't like to give out data of my clients, because you don't want to give information to your competition. Oh, so and so is working with XYZ finance company. It's Tom speaking on how great this firm is. I'm going to stay in touch with Tom, because he might get upset with certain IT firm, right? So you don't want to give too much information on who decision makers are. It's already a challenge to locating a decision maker. Don't help out don't give any assistance to your competition. So SEO, lots of methods to become the authority. And that's what we're going to be talking on the MSP Corner, how we can help you become that authority, the strategies you should take, the vendors you should use. And we'll just continue talking about our experience with SEO. Now, how long does SEO take to climb the authority ladder? It usually takes 8 to 12 months. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. This is something you really have to work at and consistently produce content to generate or to show Google you are the authority. Now, if you want to speed up that process for generating leads, PPC. PPC or pay per click is an ideal way to generate leads quickly. You have two platforms to consider. Some will consider Facebook, but I would consider, as an IT firm, Google PPC and LinkedIn PPC. LinkedIn is going to take a lot more research because you could do extremely well on LinkedIn because you have the option to not only target a specific area, you can target a specific industry. Your ads will only get in front of, let's say, the CEO and CFO. So, and you can that message will get directly to them when they've logged into their LinkedIn account and they're scrolling through the information that is posted on LinkedIn, and they'll see your ad. A video ad would be best. Static ads are not bad on LinkedIn. Now, Google PPC, people are more active there. People are more. You have a higher chance of them finding you on Google because thousands of searches are made for IT services every day. Well, every month. Now, you have to determine what type of campaign you're going to build, right? Is it going to be security? Is it going to be help desk? Is it going to be staff augmentation? Is it going to be co-managed IT support? This all depends on your audience. What does your audience want to see? Because your audience wants to read about something, so you have to create campaigns that solves their problem. PPC can quickly start generating leads for you, but you have to have a very smart campaign. You got to have the right messaging that is going to solve your audience's problem. The next strategy that I found very surprising, and it was actually a pleasant surprise, was email marketing. Now, we've been in business for over 2 decades. We've compiled a large list of prospects that have worked or have talked to us, and we've collected a lot of emails. So we just decided one day, well, I was asked to set up an email marketing campaign, and it has worked out well. It has we send out hundreds of emails once a week, and it will generate at least 2 to 3 leads per month. It's not very much, right? I'm sure you guys want dozens of appointments every month, but email marketing, unless you have millions of email addresses, you will do well if you have a large number of email addresses and you're speaking to your audience. Now, this campaign, the email marketing campaign, is pretty unique for us because we don't have to pay for the service, which is nice. I mean, we do have, because we are partnered with Enable, we are able to use their platform to send out messages. And the bonus of using their platform is all the content is created. It's amazing. We love it. I just hired a virtual assistant that sets it up each week. Costs me what, $200 a month for this virtual assistant, and they are sending out 3,000 plus emails every month. And if I generate 2 to 3 meetings a month, I'll be very happy because it's really just costing me $200 a month to get this set up and consistently educate my audience. So if it costs me 200 bucks for 3 to 4 leads a month, ah, it's not a huge burden on my budget because that's inexpensive, and I don't have to take too much time on creating content because all of this content is already created. So if you guys are considering an RMM tool, or you're looking to make a switch, I would highly recommend N Central by Enable, or it's by SolarWinds, and look at their market builder. And a bonus, if you want to use my virtual assistant, she has plenty of bandwidth to set these up because it's easy for her, and she already has the experience. But email marketing, definite must. It's so inexpensive, you can't ignore it. The other bonus part with this email marketing campaign is that I get to kill two birds with one stone, because it automatically posts. Everything is automated. It will post on social media. And all of this information is educational. I'm not soliciting anybody for business. All of this is educational information. And if they want to learn more, or they want to download a PDF, we get alerted that, hey, Tom at Finance XYZ downloaded a PDF on SOC 2 compliance. You know for a fact I'm going to email him within 2 days, 2 to 3 days, and say, hey, Tom, can we set up a call to discuss your SOC 2 compliance requirements, right? We provide SOC services. We ensure our clients stay compliant and secure 24/7. Let's set up a call, right? So you want to be alerted when somebody downloads this type of information, because then you're being proactive on generating opportunities for yourself. All right, the last topic is going to be engagements, and what I mean by engagements is that you're going to have these type of educational type of events to engage your audience, like a webinar. Let's talk about a webinar for a second, because webinars, remember, most prospects don't want to be sold to. They love to be educated, and they would love to hear what's going on in their industry. So if you're going to target a specific industry, make sure that your webinars are educational and offer value to your prospects, because that's how they stay up to date with the latest and greatest. They're already too busy doing their own work, but if they can take a break from their daily job to learn more about security, disaster recovery, Office 365, multi-factor authentication, security awareness for end users, I mean, it's endless. And you have, as an MSP or an MSSP, you have partners that will help you with this. You just have to ask them. You obviously have to have enough people coming to your webinar so you can start engaging with these individuals. But through your newsletter, if you have it set up correctly, you can announce that you're going to have a webinar on disaster recovery or security, EDR, STEM, right? Multi-factor authentication. There's so many topics that you can have in a webinar on that you can't ignore that platform. The webinar platform is another way to engage your prospects, educate them, and then turn them into opportunities, because they don't have the bandwidth to build a SOC, or the bandwidth to maybe they have a tight budget. They don't have a budget to hire more people, right? So this is where you can step in and do a co-managed IT opportunity. Podcasts is another way to engage your audience if you have a live podcast, but creating podcasts is another way to add authority to your business, Recording podcasts every week would do your website wonders for the Google authority. So keep that in mind. If you're going to have a podcast for the legal industry and you have hundreds of legal clients or prospects, send out an email about what you're going to talk about on your podcast, and then you're going to take, you'll ask, they'll have the opportunity to ask questions. But a podcast is a great way for you to interview an expert in the legal industry. It provides a SaaS product to the legal industry on how they can accurately keep track of hours, and just another SaaS product for lawyers to work more efficiently. So there's plenty of topics for you guys to consider. So webinars, podcasts, a definite must. Next is lunch and learns. A lunch and learn is another way for you to announce that, hey, I'm going to take out 10 CEOs for the legal industry to discuss, in person, what we have to offer the legal industry, how we keep you secure, how our legal clients leverage the cloud, how we prevent security breaches, how we keep your end user security trained, things like that. Lunch and learns are great opportunities for you to engage your audience, educate them, and then turn them into clients. This is easy, but you do need an audience, and they do need to understand that you are available. So you need to also have the enough emails to make these announcements to. So keep that in mind. Seminars. Seminars is another way for you to put your brain on display, right? You want to, if you can find speaking engagements where it's relevant to, you're going to be speaking to an audience that you have a lot of knowledge in their industry about. Let's take the medical industry, and a bunch of CEOs of medical offices are going to be there, or of hospitals, and they're going to hear about the latest and greatest on how to keep clients' data secure, encryption, HIPAA compliant. You're going to talk about disaster recovery, or security awareness training. There's so many topics you can discuss, but make sure that you're going to be talking to your audience. I'm going to backtrack a little and go back to the SEO and the PPC and all that, because in the email marketing, because I forgot one topic that's really critical, and we just implemented it at single point of contact, is an email scraper. This is a great way to collect emails of visitors coming to your website. And we're collecting anywhere between 100 to 500 emails every week on prospects that are visiting our website. I think it's on average, I'd say 400 to 500. I was going to say 100 per day. Yeah, I'd say 100 per day. We get about that amount of visitors, but we get 100 new email addresses to market to. Right? They're not going to be against education, but if you're going to be spamming them for business and asking them if they need your IT services, that's going to become annoying. So don't forget to look into an email scraper. This is part of your cookie strategy on your website. Now, back to the engagements. Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce is a way for you guys to reach out to other businesses in your area. You get to meet business owners, you get to interact with them, and this gives you great practice on your pitch. Remember that your pitch should be filled of value. It should not be, let me emphasize, should not. If a CEO of a small legal office comes up to you and says, "Hey, Tom, what are you all about?" You're not going to say, "We provide help desk services. We provide IT support. We provide tech services." Wrong answer, guys. Wrong answer. Because as I can certain without any doubt, 10 out of 10 IT firms are going to give the same answer. And your answer to a CEO of a legal office should be, we primarily work with attorneys on helping them be more efficient and productive. We implement strategies so they don't have IT problems. We implement strategies so they stay secure and they don't have any issues on with their computers. That's our value proposition. We are implementing strategies so you don't have problems. That's what we do. So that message is going to ring a lot, is going to be more memorable than somebody who says we provide tech services, because I'm sure he's talking to 10 other firms that say the same thing. Who's going to stand out? Who's he going to have a more memorable conversation with, right? So that chamber of commerce, I used to think was a bad idea, but no, it gives you guys, because I know some of you are introverts, some of you don't like to get out of your comfort zone. Well, if you plan on building an empire, a mini, even if it's a mini empire, prepare yourself to get uncomfortable. Prepare yourself to be okay with being uncomfortable, because no one is going to knock your door down for your business. You have to go get it. You have to go earn it. There's no handouts here. So expect yourself to get uncomfortable, because this is not, you're the CEO of your organization, you're the leader. Prepare to lead. Prepare to be, like I said, uncomfortable. Embrace it, because the only way you're going to build your dream is by being uncomfortable. No one has ever built something being laying on a couch and eating chips and drinking Coke. So prepare yourself to get uncomfortable, go talk to people, and have meaningful conversations. So I'm going to wrap this up. I appreciate you guys listening. I don't know if Gregory wants to add anything or have questions on any of these topics, but Greg, you got anything for me?
Yeah, so one of the tips that I want to give everybody is that when you go ahead and offer your services, try not to immediately hit a brand. Try not to go and say, I sell IBM or I sell Dell or I sell HP. You want to try to just position yourself that you sell a solution. And then when the customer tells you their requirements, you may find out that if you had led with IBM or Dell or HP, that you might have killed your sale, because you may have offered them a product, and usually someone who thinks you're offering them HP won't think that you have any other, cards in your hand. They'll think, oh, this guy's only an HP reseller, and HP doesn't support the new, processor from AMD that I need. Only Dell does, so I need Dells. So they may come to you after the engagement, and if you tell them that you sell value, and they may say, "Look, I need this new architecture," and you're like, "Wow, oh, that's only provided by maybe Lenovo," and so you're like, "I was smart not to tell them that a particular product that I was trying to push." Just say, look, I sell solutions, give me your requirements, and then you can find out when they give you the requirements. And this goes across the board for software, hardware, services, that you don't want to particularly say, okay, yeah, I resell this particular product, because it could defeat you early on. So don't tell people what, don't tell people too early. Don't overshare is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that is a great piece of advice, because you don't ever want to lead with, "Oh, I represent IBM." They might hate IBM. Who
Right.
knows, right?
Who
They
knows?
might hate Microsoft. They're just like, "Hey, we'd rather work with Google, right? On Gmail or whatever, or on the Google Suite platform." So leading with products is just a bad, bad, bad idea, right? Because you want to lead with, just like you said, solutions. And I'm going to go back, I'm going to backtrack a little again. I know I was going to end this show, but one of the things, and I want to share, it was just so successful. I love to share this story that we just did this with with an organization, and they're a good size organization. They have hundreds of clients they service every month, and they're stuck. They pigeonholed themselves into leading their clients to believe, and they built a brand that they're just like, okay, they're our Avaya partner. That's all they think of them, is they are our VoIP provider. They are our cabling partner, right? That's how they think of them. So I asked the CEO, I go, look, you've already climbed that mountain of trust, of credibility, of goodwill. You already have established that. You have hundreds of clients that love you. So let's create a database of all of these clients that love you. And let's talk and let's segment each one and start tackling each one. Because I asked them for specific information. I said, okay, let's get a list of all your clients. Let's segment them by vertical. We want to know the point of contact, their title, and obviously their phone number and email. And because each one is going to have a unique approach. So this approach would be, let's say we're calling into a medical office and his point of contact is the IT manager. For sure, my pitch is going to be very different if it was the CEO. So knowing what his role is at the organization is a huge help on my approach. Because if I give him, if I don't have his title and I give him the CEO approach, he's going to find my message to be extremely threatening. So knowing that he's the IT manager or the director of IT or the system administrator, um, you don't want to ever talk to system administrators, but that might be the only option for you. So we, I was expecting a lot of no's before we got a yes, and for some reason we got a yes on our first call. This individual was in the market for a SOC service, and when we informed him that we now provide SOC services and we can provide it for his organization, he was very happy to hear that. He asked for a demo, and the call went extremely well, and we produced a $500,000 opportunity on the very first call, which is, I believe, an anomaly. You just don't get those. This has a lot to do with luck, timing. So, but if some of you CEOs are listening, you have to consider, are you in that same position? Do you have dozens of clients and you're only doing one thing for them? Because there's three or four other services you can offer them, and I'm happy to discuss them with you, but there are a lot of opportunities out there. You just have to go find them. Or you have the budget, the marketing budget. When they're looking for you, they will find you. All right, Greg, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I want to talk about direct marketing for a second and what that really means,
Okay,
and what does direct marketing mean to you?
sure. So direct marketing, I would consider a couple of methods, right? You have email marketing, right? Because you're directing a message to a specific individual instead of them
But
finding.
who is that? Who's that specific individual, and how do you find them?
Well, like I mentioned in the I don't know if I mentioned this, but you do have to have email addresses. If
Where do
you
you get
don't,
those?
well, you can get them from several services that provide, before, back in the day, right, when you and I first started, they sold lists for thousands of dollars, thousands up front. You had to provide six, seven, at times $8,000, depending on the size of the list. Now there's services out there where you only pay $200 a month to access a database. And you can then export that database so you can email those prospects. Even though they haven't opted in, that's the risk you run with your email engine. But I don't think
Well,
market.
tell me
Go
about
ahead.
more about that. So say you have a list you
Yeah.
bought for $200. It's got 500 people on it that it tells you. It's a direct marketing list for medical companies that have been interested in IT, and maybe they somehow figured out that when these guys went to this URL or whatever, they scraped it off and just gave it to you. Now you have this list and you don't know how many times it's been sold. Could have been sold 100 times for 200 bucks, who knows. So
Yep. Yep.
you send your non-opt-in email to those people, to those 500, and what's going to happen? Do you know what's going to happen to you? It is that if enough of them complain about you sending them spam,
Yep.
you're going to get a black eye, right?
Yep. Yep. No, you're right. You're
So you
right.
got to be careful about you got to keep track, you got to keep your eye on what's going on in that if you send it to these non-opt-inners, they might complain enough that your reputation, not like your reputation as a man, but your reputation as a emailer is compromised, and that might cause trouble with you with your email engine. So you want to also talk about building up a good email reputation by sending out enough emails in time that you're sending them to your direct opt-ins that don't cancel, and then you can start peppering opt-outs, or people who haven't opted in into your email flow so that it doesn't take on such a large hit. So you want to be careful about what you're buying, the lists you're getting, how you disseminate the emails, and all this. You really need a person that's going to help you.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
hard to do all these. I mean, just that alone, just your email reputation, your spam gun, your spam score, and all these other things. You don't want to mess around with some of these things because they're hard to undo. They take long time to get back from. So you're going to want to get somebody to help you. If you think you can do this by yourself, good luck to you, but honestly, it's so difficult to keep track of all these different components of marketing.
Yeah, no, I would use email marketing as a last ditch effort because you don't have the budget for SEO. SEO and PPC should be the front runners for marketing. I mean, you could make cold calls, which is also inexpensive if you're the CEO and you have 3 to 4 hours a week to make cold calls. That's not a bad number. You can probably make, oh gosh, 200 calls a week if you have 3 or 4 hours. So I'm not saying you're talking to 200 people. I'm saying you're dialing that number or dialing numbers to speak with people and expect a lot of no's or a lot of voicemails, a lot of gatekeepers, a lot of no answers. So um, be prepared for that. But back to the email. Yeah, I agree with you 1000%. And here's the thing with today's email engines, and this is even Market Builder, what we use. They're tracking who opens it, how many opens you have, how many opt-outs they're tracking so many metrics. So if they see that, oh, this email list is a bit sketchy, they're going to block you from sending any more emails. So you have to be very careful. I mean, email, yeah, it's I've even heard some of these listing agents, they even say these are opted in email addresses. I'm like, oh God. It's like I was born at night, but not last night, right? I just find that to be so shady to say that, because if I'm going to opt in for information, I'm going to go directly to the source, not to some database. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. But I don't know if that statement would be accurate. But email marketing, if you have opted in email addresses, you can do very well. And like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, if you have a scraper that is collecting email addresses of people that visit your website, you can start you can start marketing to them. At least you're reminding them that you exist. They came to your website. If you want to get really sophisticated and you start tracking what web page they went to, because these scrapers do provide that. They tell you which page they went to. You can start sending them specific information on what they're looking for. So it email marketing inexpensive, and I got kicked off of I think it was Constant Contact because I uploaded a list. I personally uploaded a list of thousands of email addresses, and Constant Contact said your campaign has been blocked. It has been, they say, suspended because of so many opted out. People are pissed, right? They're pissed that they're getting spammed. And even though it's educational information, they will still get angry. So I was quickly suspended, I think after a month, because the numbers just added up that these are not email addresses that had opted in. So, but a good point you brought up there. All right. Anything else you want to add?
No, that's it.
All right. All right. Well, uh, we'll wrap this up, and thanks for listening. If you haven't signed up to be a member, we're going to be going live in the next month or two because I finally see light at the end of the tunnel. You'll be able to sign up at mspcorner.com. And if you would like, please share this link. If you think a CEO of an MSP will find our information, our discussions beneficial to their business. All right, guys, happy holidays or happy Thanksgiving. Have a good night. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to sign up to be a member on www.mspcorner.com. Please share our link with a CEO who will find our information beneficial to their business. Have an awesome day.